So I am going to make a short video. I'll start with the headline part about why Apple's iCloud system is not a backup system. And they don't exactly say it's not a backup system, but they certainly don't say it is a backup system. So the cloud, in case you don't know, is not really as vague as it sounds. It's a bunch of servers or spread out servers across the world, but it's a physical thing somewhere. So anyway, when you first buy it, right, you might think that $10 a month for 2 terabytes is cheap, and you'd be right. To rent 2 terabytes of space at this moment in 2021 for $10 a month is really good. £10, €10, $9.99, whatever, US dollars. So I'm going to explain very succinctly, probably in the next few seconds, why it's not a backup system, okay? Backup system lets you take a bunch of files that you want to keep safe and make a safety copy, for example, on a device, a cloud, somewhere else, okay? Somewhere out there. So I've got a little representation of this. So this is, for example, your Apple device. Let's call it your iPad. Although it doesn't actually matter what it is. This could be your PC, because I had a problem with a PC that used the iCloud system as well. This is the cloud. Okay. Excuse me stealing the sweetie jar. There's some data and stuff, right? Let's call that data that you've got on your device, whatever it is. These are a few folders, and you can imagine there's a whole bunch of these things, right? All sorts of stuff. In my case, it's music, but it could be any kind of file. So mine are quite big files, but video files would be big as well. Okay, so this is in your SSD, your device storage that you have, like the iPad, for example. So one day you come along, let's say you do this thing I'm about to show you, which you can't do in iCloud for reasons I'll explain. Let's say you take a load of stuff that you want to make a safety copy of, and I'm going to do just that. I'm trying to find something that's similar. Right, there we go. So you can see that's that's going to be my copy of that stuff there, those 3 bits, okay? You put it in there. Okay, cool. But iCloud won't let you do that. Here's what iCloud does. iCloud says, oh, you've put a load of stuff there. How about you have a load of it back? Never mind that you've got this stuff here. There. Have that. Now, you might say, why on earth would the iCloud system spit back a load of files that you've just put there? That's a very good question. It does it, though, as a reflex to you doing it. So you might think that you can do what I did, which is actually to take your files, and instead of having your music files sat on your computer, I'm talking about GarageBand song files, instead of having sat there taking up a lot of space, you think, oh, I'll clear my space out on my device, my iPad, and I'll put it all in the iCloud, wherever it is. You can't. As soon as you attempt to do that, the iCloud says, no, here's a copy. Right? So let's say you've got 500 gigabytes of space on your iPad, which I've got on this device, and you decide you've got 250 gigabytes of files that you don't use that often. You've sort of finished with them, but you still need them. You still want them there. And you take them and put it on your iCloud, giving you a load of space, right? No, that's not what happens. A copy is instantly spat back by iCloud, and you find your space is all filled up with a blue band when you go to check your storage in your device, and you cannot get rid of it. The only way to get rid of it is by deleting it. But when you delete it, it's still not gone. What happens when you delete it is it goes in your undeleted bit, so that you recently deleted on your iPad device, so that you can undelete them if you want. As long as they're still there, it's going to be taking up space on your device. Now, you might say, well, does that matter? I mean, obviously, does it still let you work? Not really is the answer. If you use something like GarageBand on an iPad, it keeps on wanting to put things down to the SSD. It doesn't really do proper memory management, but it does still want to put some files to the SSD and expand and contract the song file you've got if you're working on your iPad with GarageBand. And unfortunately, what that translates to is simply this. You will try and work in GarageBand. It will find when it wants to drop something, suddenly there's no space, or it will be working and the iCloud system in the background will suddenly decide it can put another file down. And the result is the same. Your GarageBand will give you the dreaded optimize message and you'll be stopped from working. And that can happen at any time. Also, the other thing that happens is you try to access something, and if that's something, a plugin, an audio unit version 3, say, which is an instrument, that tries to run, you will then find there'll be a fault, and it'll say, no, I can't give you this instrument because it's not available. When in fact it's available, but to start that instrument might invoke GarageBand to do something with the space that you should have on your iPad, except you don't have that space because there's a huge load of stuff from your iCloud filling it up, and that persists forever. It never fixes. The only way to fix it is to delete it. And when you delete it on the iCloud, it then would disappear, but it's not properly deleted yet, so you have to go into your undelete, into your recently deleted, which lets you recover files, of course, but you go into your recently deleted, you find the thing there that you've deleted from your iCloud, and you then delete that, so it's permanently gone, you'll never get it back. Then you've got the space back on your iPad. And all this dallying around and trying to figure this out had me calling Cupertino and getting special Apple support, and they don't really know how it works, or they don't want to reveal how it works. So the only takeaway you need to know is this. I'll take them away. Let's say you work like I work. You're on your local device. And you say, oh look, here's a load of stuff. I want some space on my local device. Look, it's all filled up. I want some space on my local device, my iPad. I'm going to put those song files over there in my iCloud, which I pay £10 a month, $10 whatever for. Okay, and then what Apple does is it says, oh no. You're going to have a copy of that lot back. You cannot make space on your device by putting stuff onto iCloud. Not consciously, manually doing it, without it spitting back reflexively a copy of those files. Apple word it like this: we make sure that the files that are recently used are available for you to use. That is not true. If you stayed using them for a year like this, it'd let you. It's not recently used files. Now, by this method, my 2 terabytes that I've got, that I pay for, I will never fill up. Not possible. Because every time I try to put stuff on them, a copy comes straight back. But not a copy you can do anything with. Sure, it might make it faster to work with. That's not the reason they do it. Somebody at Apple thought very carefully about how to make sure people wouldn't overuse the cloud facility. And this is how they do it. And it's also why it's completely useless as a backup system. That's why they never say it's a backup system. Okay, now this works for 1 or 2 files. If you do this 1 or 2 files at a time, you'll be alright. But if you want to organize one day, no, that's not going to work. So as a result, I ended up deleting all my stuff, and I've lost some stuff that I will never get back.